An early storm has rolled into Davie. November is for building the ship, readying the sails, and familiarizing yourself with who's on deck alongside you. Despite this, we have a pivotal clash today with massive implications in the Sunshine State Conference. It's been clear skies up to this point for Nova Southeastern. Through 3 games, the Sharks have sowed disorder on the floor for their foes. In a panic-induced blur, opponents have been overwhelmed by the fiery tempo of NSU. The next step is to bring that same temperament to conference play. It's been a little more rocky to start for the perennial juggernauts of the SSC. Tampa always bring quality to hardwood, a reputation that has them sitting atop the conference on paper to start the year. But history doesn't prove the present. Today, the Spartans have eyes to persist their program's notoriety. November is for figuring yourself out, and yet today, both the Sharks and the Spartans must piece it together and make a statement. SSC play opens today, and it starts right here in the Shark Tank on the SSC Digital Network. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. I am joined, as always, by Josh Leatherman. Josh, there's a lot of things to pick apart for this game, and we'll have time to talk about all of it. But first things first, we're going to step aside for the national anthem and introductions. We'll pick it all apart after that on the SSC Digital Network. After the national anthem, let's start talking about this basketball game between Nova Southeastern women's basketball and the University of Tampa. The Spartans and the Sharks doing battle here. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you. Josh, before we talk about this game, we need to address what happened last game for Nova Southeastern, a game against Florida National where, I mean, you looked at the record books, just crunch it all up and throw it away. You gotta write a new one.
Yeah, the Sharks came out. They put together an absolute masterclass. Most points ever in a single game, most rebounds, most steals. It was probably the most complete basketball game that Coach Macy's side could have drawn up, and I don't think it came at the wrong time. I just think the Sharks need to restabilize themselves. It's easy to get caught up in a record-breaking performance, right? We live in the age of social media, and every once in a while, you just get caught up in seeing things online, and you're like, oh my God, we just put together that great of a performance, and all of a sudden the Spartans are coming to town and you're riding too high, and this team loves to grind things down. So I'm very curious to see how the Sharks bounce back almost, right? Like you have to kind of take yourself back down, restabilize, level your head, and then come out here and put together another great 40 minutes.
And it's a big game, too. University of Tampa picked to win the conference going into the year, but the start of the season hasn't quite been the way they would have imagined it. They are 2-3 now. Granted, 2 of those losses were against ranked teams, so it's sort of that challenge yourself with some tough opponents and get yourself right for SSC play. But 2-3 for a team that was picked to finish first in the conference. That's something you look at and you do still wince a little bit.
Yeah, it's a stutter step right out of the blocks, right? We've seen some powerhouse teams really struggle to start the season across the SSC landscape regardless of sport, but this is certainly a surprise, right? 2-3, 2 ranked losses like you mentioned, and this team is just struggling to score points. We're used to Tampa being a great half-court offensive team that really likes to take things slow, but they find great opportunities to score. They're just not having them right now. It has been a real tough time scoring the basketball. Just 60.5 points per game from this Spartan side. It's way too low, and it's not what we've expected. So maybe the Sharks are catching the Spartans at the right time here in the Rick Case Arena.
Well, we'll see exactly how it all blends together. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. First off, for Nova Southeastern, we have got Celeste Reed, Kalia Morales, Bridie McCann, Markayla Holland, and Haley Childs at the 5 spot for Nova Southeastern. Meanwhile, for the Spartans, it'll be Georgia Palmieri, Olivia Davis, Alanis Diaz, Amy Thompson, and Ryan Franklin leading the way for Tampa. They're coached by Tom Jesse in his 24th season as the man in charge of the Spartans, so the longtime head coach of this program. Meanwhile, Heather Macy, the long tenure of 3 games as a Shark head coach, taking over during the offseason and off to a great start, but this will be a real test here in the Shark Tank.
Yeah, it's conflicting styles, right? We talked about it in the game against Florida National, right? It's like, how much can you take away from each of these wins? And one thing that you talked about post-game with Coach Macy, control the controllables, right? Heart and hustle. How much energy can you bring on a nightly basis? And if the Sharks keep bringing the energy that they have brought through the first 3 games, they are going to be a handful for everybody in this Sunshine State Conference.
Tip-off is won by Ryan Franklin, and Tampa will start out with the basketball. Our officiating crew for today: Alexis Perez, Jose Medrano, and Brandon Adams. Ball sent over to the right-hand side and then kicked up top. You're watching the Spartans and the Sharks open up the Sunshine State Conference slate here in November. Franklin swerving around, kicks it back up top to Davis. You mentioned patient half-court offense from Tampa. Palmieri with 5 on the shot clock. He's going to have to put something up. She does just that, and it's well off target. Shot clock violation. The Sharks get possession.
Yeah, right now this Spartans offense is just disconnected. They love to get deep into the shot clock. You really won't see them get into their actions until there's about 12 or 10 seconds left on the shot clock. But by then, against this Shark squad, it's too late in the clock. You've got to try and pick up the tempo offensively just to get into the contest.
Kalia Morales, the first possession for the Sharks offensively. Holland, back out to Morales. Back and forth between the two of them, 15 on the shot clock. Inside now, Celeste Reed. Now McCann for 3. It's good. Bridie McCann rattles a triple.
That's an interesting first look for the Sharks. Deep 3 from Bridie McCann, but that's well within her comfort zone. And surprised to see the Sharks taking the methodical approach offensively to start.
Ball is knocked free, and the mayhem that this Sharks team creates activating itself there as they try to transition down the floor. Nova Southeastern were unbelievable in wreaking havoc last game, and they've been really good throughout the season in 3 games. 22 steals per game, so how about that? Missed shot collected by Holland. You imagine that number goes down as the season rolls along, but just to get off to start like this is emblematic of the style that the Sharks team will be playing throughout this year. Holland. Childs takes the shot, and she swishes it.
Childs is fantastic in that elbow area, that elbow jumper for her in the mid-range. She does a really nice job of capitalizing on a smaller defender on her at 6'3". She just punishes the defense.
Palmieri on the basketball now, guarded by Holland. Georgia Palmieri checks it to the left-hand side for Diaz. Prods inside, now kicks it out. Here's a 3-ball from Thompson, and it's well short.
And the Sharks just continue that high-energy defense, right? As soon as somebody gets inside the three-point line, it's 2 bodies right in front of you. Create the wall, force a kick out, make the ball be moved in opposite directions, and all of a sudden the Sharks just basically play with 6 defenders because there's always somebody scrambling.
Holland, 3-ball off the tray, and it's into the hands of Olivia Davis. The Sharks are going to jump on passes, try to get some steals. Unsuccessful in that endeavor. Now a wind-up 3 is too strong. McCann has the board.
This is big for the Sharks right here. Dictate the tempo of the early minutes. Try and make this Spartans team run.
McCann, nice feed inside. Reed to the corner for Morales. Now she'll gash in, pulls up the shot, takes a bounce and won't fall through. 5-0 in the early stages. Noah Southeastern with the lead. In a big-time clash with the Spartans, 2 teams that are looking to contend in the SSC come March. Franklin feeds it inside, and it's a good connection to Alanis Diaz.
It's much better offense from the Spartans, right? Getting into something a little bit quicker, more active feet, and finding open space with the Sharks, just trying to move a little bit too fast.
Holland with the bounce inside to Reed. Now Reed with the drive, feeds Morales, and she's fouled as she went up. Our first foul of the game. Olivia Davis will be the first one to pick up a personal. Kalia Morales will go to the free throw line. Leading the team in scoring in the early stages of this season. The Fort Lauderdale local Kalia Morales.
Yeah, certainly the wrong player to be fouling too, because Kalia Morales usually punishes teams when they send her to the charity stripe.
That's the announcer jinx of Josh Leatherman there. I'm Mark Schoenster providing commentary on this game. Also, of course, as always, joined by a producer, audio engineer, vibes provider, and unfortunate Dolphins fan, Cynthia Fonseca. Franklin pops this one inside, and Diaz has another bucket.
Yeah, Franklin's got to be very involved in the offense here, because if she can pass through the post, all of a sudden you have a more centralized area to run the offense.
Overhead pass ripped over to Morales. Now Holland from the baseline. Chucks it back up top. It's Simpson in the game now for the Sharks. McCann swishes it.
Somebody's got to check Bridie McCann, because if her first couple of shots go through, that's usually a great sign, and the Sharks are going to have one of their top scorers hot again.
Crossing the 10-second line is Alanis Diaz. She has both the buckets for Tampa in this game thus far. Ball is knocked up in the air by Holland. An offensive foul is called. They don't get the steal, but they get the turnover.
Sometimes when you're a team that creates a lot of turnovers and you get a lot of steals, sometimes it's frustrating when you don't collect one in the early minutes, but all of a sudden you force a turnover and you start to pick up momentum on that side of the basketball. Once you recognize that the referees are going to let you hand check a little bit more, you play a little more physical, that favors the Sharks, especially in this Macy offense and defense.
Couple more changes personnel-wise for Nova Southeastern. You see Kirsten Green, Caitlin Hagee in the game. Meanwhile, for Tampa, still the starting 5. Hagee bounces it inside for Simpson. And a 3-second call will mean that it'll be turned over to Tampa. Too much time spent in the paint there. Diaz. Coughed up the ball and gives it right back to Nova Southeastern. Sometimes also, you mentioned, you may not get the steals early on in the game, but your efforts is still getting into the thought process of the team you're playing against, because they're constantly having to think about where those 5 white jerseys are.
I think even on top of that, that has to factor into the game planning as well, right? Because your mental clock gets sped up when you're playing the Sharks, because you know how aggressive they're going to be defensively, and then you start making just unforced errors.
Simpson rotates out to Green in the corner for 3, off target. It'll stay with Nova Southeastern. It pinballed off a couple boots and will stay over here on this end of the court. So Kirsten Green will inbound it. First substitution readying for Tampa. And in comes Maddie Oberski. She'll sub in for Amy Thompson. The freshman from Fort Myers getting into the game. Holland reels this one in. Rotate to the corner for Kirsten Green. Now Simpson gives it right back. 5 on the shot clock. Hagee to the left-hand side, fed inside, and time ran out. The internal clock was not in sync there for Nova Southeastern. A timeout is called with 4:50 to go in the first quarter. Nova Southeastern leading early 7-4. We'll be back after a brief break.
First 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
7-4 in the early stages of this one between Nova Southeastern and Tampa. The Sharks coming off a record-breaking performance. 126 points, breaking their program record. 45 field goals made, program record. 44 free throws attempted, program record. 38 single-game steals, which is 15 more than their prior record. And then they also tied their single-game rebounds with 63. I don't know how many records are looking to be broken in this game. It's going to be a grind between the Sharks and the Spartans. But the more important record, honestly, is if you go 1-0 in this game.
Also, unofficial record break, 35 offensive rebounds for the Sharks. We could not confirm the depth of that one, but as far back as we could check, the Sharks' highest single-game total of offensive rebounds.
Alanis Diaz. Now 5 seconds on the shot clock. Pass hooked inside, and Ryan Franklin, with a couple bounces, gets her first bucket.
See, that's the great thing about taking an extra pass is every once in a while when this Sharks defense over-collapses, then you have an open passing lane, and you can just drop in a quick 2.
Childs at the rim, and she's fouled on the way up. That'll be called on Oberski. Haley Childs will go to the free throw line. Got two pretty talented bigs in this game for Tampa. Haley Childs, or for Tampa and for Nova Southeastern, I should say. Haley Childs averaging 13 points per game. We've already seen her sink a jumper. And then on the other side, Ryan Franklin, 15 points per game, getting her first bucket of the afternoon. Childs only taken 2 free throws so far this season, so still getting a gauge on what her efficiency looks like. That one off the nose. From Greenwood, South Carolina. Childs, the second free throw, also won't go through. Rough start at the charity stripe for Nova Southeastern, 0 for 4. Right now they're only shooting 66% from the free throw line this season. That's a number they'll want to bump up as the year goes along.
Yeah, especially with the regularity that the Sharks are getting to the free throw line with. Right, that's a lot of points that you're leaving on the table, because if you're getting to the free throw line 12 to 15 times per game, great mark as a team. The Sharks are doing that and adding a lot of scoring, but they're also just leaving a lot of scoring to be desired. They have 89 free throw attempts this year. They've made just 59 of them. That's before this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's only making 2/3 of your free throws, and they are called free, as that's a tough bucket on the other end. Nothing free about that one. Olivia Davis on the board. Spartans take the lead, 8-7. Morales to the corner. Holland returns the favor. Simpson for 3. It's good. A rainbow shot from the left-hand side.
So the Sharks looking to play outside in offensively right now. They have looked for the three-point shot. They found the bottom of the bucket a couple of times. They just got to find a way to speed this game up right now.
Palmieri through the traffic, sends it over to the right-hand side. Oberski returns it to Palmieri, their primary ball handler. Now Diaz works her way inside. Ball's knocked free. And an and one bucket for Alanis Diaz. She's got 6 points early on in this affair.
Firstly, got to say, great play by Celeste Reed right there. Clean strip on the drive, but then Kalia Morales just got a little bit overextended with the arms, swiped down on the shot attempt, and it's a young foul, right? It's a sophomore just trying to make a play in recovery on defense right there, right? Sliding over, trying to guard a player off her own rebound, essentially.
Worth noting, that's 2 fouls on Morales. Both the fouls the Sharks have in this game so far. Green sends it to the right-hand side for Simpson. Taydra Simpson floats it to the left. McCann inside. Celeste Reed down the right lane. Tried to adjust it as she went. 13 on the shot clock as the Sharks reset. McCann stuttering. Now feeding. Reed bounces it to Holland. 5 on the shot clock. Holland goes up off the glass and in.
These are going to be interesting minutes for the Sharks without Morales on the floor. She runs this offense. She is the traditional point guard for Coach Macy.
Nearly jarring free a steal there. Kirsten Green intervening. Still gets Tampa behind schedule, though. Palmieri throws this one up, and it's knocked away. The Sharks have the basketball.
And Tampa's done a great job of avoiding those long cross-court passes. It's how they've kept this game as clean as they have.
Reed bumped as she went to the baseline. Ryan Franklin will pick up her first.
All of a sudden, Tampa's got 4 turnovers. They're helping the Sharks dictate pace and tempo right now. And
McCann checks it to the right-hand side. Simpson bounces in the middle. Holland adjusts under the rim, and it won't fall through for her. Gets her own effort and is fouled. Offensive board and a trip to the free throw line. And now Ryan Franklin has 2 fouls.
That is going to change a lot for the Tampa Spartans. You really only have 2 players that can match up size-wise with NSU. Franklin at 6'3", operating in the middle. She's going to be asked to cover a lot of minutes, but now you have to change your in-game plan due to the fouls. That's 2 key players for these 2 sides that are starting with really tough fouls because they're not plays that need to be made. You're out of position. You just don't need to be fouling or be that physical.
Both earned through offensive boards. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Tampa, but Heather Macy really likes the effort there from Celeste Reed.
How can you not? Celeste Reed has just been all over the place. She's really taking to this system, right? We talked about this in the Florida National game. When the proof is on the court, it's just complete buy-in.
Palmieri on the basketball. 9 on the shot clock. Just over a minute left to go in the first quarter. Palmieri tucks, rises, too strong on the shot. Diaz with the offensive board. Slinks it back outside. Oberski, it's shy. Rebound collected by Holland.
It's a great look off the second chance opportunity. Just couldn't cash in.
Long 3, just a little shy. Rebound fought for and won by Simpson. Counting seconds here in the first quarter. Simpson for 3 again. This one twirls out. Offensive board. Holland gets it. Timeout called by Tampa as the Sharks have a 5-point lead with 46 seconds to go. Tom Jesse wants to manage the ending of this first quarter without this margin getting even wider before the break. A good start, though, here for Nova Southeastern. Markayla Holland with 5 points, 5 rebounds already. Had an assist on top of that, and Have to switch over to the home stats to see also a steal.
You know, Mark, it's been such an interesting part of the early season for the Sharks is their offensive rebounding, right? 71 offensive rebounds coming into this contest. They've added 5 more, 66 second chance points for the Sharks through 3 games. That is so much extra offense from teams just being flat-footed or stagnant when the shot goes up. You have to find a white jersey as soon as the shot goes up. Box out. It's a collective team effort, or this Shark squad is just going to run away from you because you're giving them too many extra opportunities.
First looks of the game for China Mateer and Unique Horton. Let's see how Tampa handles this. Maybe go for the 2-for-1. Diaz bounces it to Palmieri. Georgia Palmieri, faced by Holland. Bounces it to the left for Davis. 15 on the shot clock. Palmieri. Over to the left-hand side. Davis driving in. She is fouled. She wanted the N1, but she will get 2 free throws. Unique Horton will pick up the foul. It's the 3rd foul of the day for Nova Southeastern. Olivia Davis from Sarasota will go to the free throw line. Her 3rd year with the program. And that one will rattle out. She's an 87.5% free throw shooter, so she does not miss them often. She's also born on March 24th, which is the best day of the year to be born. You wonder why?
Go ahead.
I don't know, Mark. Why? Why is it the best day to be born? Well, it's because it's the day I was born, Josh. Thank you for asking. Jeez Louise. This one rotates over to Mateer. 6 seconds left to go in the quarter. Holland with 2 seconds puts up the shot. Off the board, no good. So after 10 minutes, the Sharks have a 5-point advantage, 15-10 your scoreline in this SSC opener between the Spartans and the Sharks. We'll be back when the second half picks up, or second quarter picks up, excuse me.
To Broward County, everyone knows the sunrises, the beautiful beaches, and the extravagant nightlife. But within the heart of the 954 lies Shark County. The Sharks have always been hungry for more, striving for excellence in competition and in the classroom. But over time, we've evolved into not only the power in Broward, but one of the premier powerhouses in all of college athletics.
Nova Southeastern, they've been the best team in Division II all season long.
We're the home of 15 NCAA Division II national championships, crowning 50 individual national champions and winning 55 Sunshine State Conference titles. We are the Sharks. We are Shark County. We are the power in Broward.
Back here to start the second quarter between Nova Southeastern and the University of Tampa. Opening up the SSC slate here at the Rick Case Arena. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you on the broadcast. So Nova Southeastern won a runaway game last time out. Tampa, on the other hand, won a game 58-35 against Colorado Christian. So 2 very different victories coming into this game, and a good way to exemplify the different styles these teams are trying to play. You've got the frenetic pace of the Sharks versus the patient half-court of Tampa. Right now, Nova Southeastern have the edge in the scoreline. It's been a blend of a little bit of both as far as which team's style has been more evident throughout this game. Great shot. Couple of bounces, and then it falls for Kalia Morales for her first bucket. Alanis Diaz. Palmieri on the basketball in the game with Diaz, Palmieri, and Olivia Davis. It's Maddie Oberski along with Brooklyn Butler getting her first few minutes. Norkayla Holland called for the foul here. Oberski bounces it to her left for Palmieri. Now Diaz on the basketball. Diaz has 6 points after 1 quarter of action. Davis. There's some contact inside the paint, and Holland picks up a second one just moments after her first.
That's an awful foul. Not by Holland at all. She's completely in position. She's within her own right as a defender, but the screen came through, and then the offensive player, Diaz, ties her up and then forces the foul to be called. That's just a bad whistle, putting the Sharks in a really tough position.
Holland, along with Morales, on 2 fouls. Ryan Franklin for Tampa, also on 2. Diaz, the elbow jumper is good. Alanis Diaz showing her offensive acumen early on in this affair. McCann on the other end for the Sharks. Zips this to Morales. 20 on the shot clock. Childs along the baseline. She'll burrow in. Childs floats it out to Morales once again. 10 on the shot clock. Simpson feeds it inside for Reed. Reed backs in, now pulls up the shot, off the nose. Childs with the offensive board. Childs off the glass, can't get the bounce. Rebound is then fed over to the corner. Had to get it out of a bind. Palmieri has 2 seconds to get cross half court. She does just that. Nonchalantly, as if it wasn't a bit closer than she made it seem. Reed jumps on the passing lane. Simpson running down the floor to the right block, and she scores.
It's time to push the gas pedal down for Nova Southeastern University. Really try and use these long wingspans, disrupt some passes, try and create some pressure in the fast break game right now.
Palmieri drifts back to the jump circle. Now Davis with a turn, gallops in and scores.
Mark, it's not going to take a long run for the Sharks to feel pretty comfortable because Tampa just takes so much time to get into their offense. They love that methodical game.
McCann on the other side off the tray. Rebound collected by Palmieri. Davis with McCann guarding her. Will bounce it back up top to Palmieri. 3 substitutions getting ready for Nova Southeastern. Looking to reload the energy. Palmieri from the left wing, guarded by Childs. 10 on the shot clock. She cuts to her left, bounces it to the corner. It's returned back to her. 5 on the shot clock. Palmieri does really well traversing there, but can't finish the job.
Done a great job by Kalia Morales right there to close out that possession. An aggressive rebound.
3 ball on the other end is clean. Tadra Simpson with a second triple. Simpson made her debut last game for the Sharks and has already passed her scoring tally from that game. At 7 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal, though. So it was a pretty productive afternoon against Florida National, but she's already at 8 in this affair. 10 on the shot clock. Davis to the left block, and she's fouled. Olivia Davis will go back to the free throw line. Tadra Simpson will collect her first. And now 3 changes for Nova Southeastern. Morales, Simpson, and Childs are out. Green, Holland, and Hagee sub in.
Yeah, so you're going to think that Coach Macy alters the rotations a little bit right now with some of the foul trouble, but probably more of the players just in shorter spurts. Those players in foul trouble, that is.
These minutes can add up for Tampa, too. Now, this is a Tampa team that likes to, in years past, and looks like it may persist this season, is they keep the bench pretty short throughout the season, but they've now got it's 8 players now as they win the steal. As this is our first look at number 8, Jay Thompson, in the game. Some contact underneath the rim. And we'll see who this foul goes on. It'll be Kirsten Green.
Yeah, mental lapse on the offensive side of the ball with a long pass that leads into a turnover and now a chance at the free throw line, but double damage because it can lead to points and another foul on the board for NSU.
Alanis Diaz is The line once again has a chance to get into double digits here. That's her 9th point. A 67% free throw shooter early on in this season. Alanis Diaz, a transfer from St. Leo, which is also where Tadra Simpson and China Mateer came from this past season. So sort of a splintering of a roster for St. Leo, and they're finding themselves at different SSC schools. Diaz, the first player in this game to hit double digits. Holland checks over the left-hand side. Bridie McCann, swish!
Does not take much space for Bridie McCann to just leak away from you, and then she's got legitimate three-point range.
Travel on the other side. Jay Thompson turns the ball back over to the Sharks.
This is what the Sharks do. It's just all-out pressing effort. They put you in some very uncomfortable situations as a player, and that's where having a veteran to guide you on the floor, being an available passing option, it's such a big boost against the Sharks because it's really helped Tampa in the early minutes of keeping the ball on their side, but now the turnovers are starting to add up.
Holland between the circles, floats it to the corner. McCann rips it in the middle for Hagee. Hagee kicks it out. Green for three. Too strong. Diaz has it. She was able to stay in bounds. Finds Oberski. Gets by McCann, but doesn't get the bucket. And an entanglement on the other end. Hagee goes down, tripped up by Brooklyn Butler. So after getting into the bonus in the first quarter, that's the first foul after 5 minutes of action in the second for Tampa. We're going to step aside for this break. 26-18, the Sharks have the lead.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
It may be early in the season, but sometimes only a game can separate you from an SSC title or not getting an SSC title. Last year, Tampa and Nova Southeastern were both right in the thick of the race. Tampa went 17-3 in conference play, tied with Embry-Riddle for a joint first place. The Sharks 16-4. So although we are in the early stages of the season, it's November. Many fans, their hearts are still not quite in basketball season yet. But this game could be the difference between winning a title and not winning a title come March. So big matchup here between the Sharks and the Spartans. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here on the SSC Digital Network. And although I say some fans' hearts aren't in college basketball season, us here on the SSC Digital Network, we are certainly feeling the spirit. Holland couldn't get that one through, and now Tampa will go the other direction. Here's Helena Kuck on the basketball. The Brazilian getting some minutes here. Davis now works inside. Sends it to the corner and went off of Reed. Checking back into the game, Tadra Simpson, Kalia Morales, and Haley Childs.
See, Mark, and this is what I've been mentioning all game long with Tampa's offense, is things can get really stagnant for them with how long it takes them to get into a situation where they want a shot. It's been over 3 minutes without a field goal for Tampa, and it's just an 8-point lead for NSU, but it's got to feel pretty comfortable right now because of how much time it takes for these Spartans to score.
Butler couldn't convert that one. Ball checked over the corner. McCann does what she can to keep it in. Morales Holland to the point, finds Bridie McCann. To the left-hand side, Holland wind up three. It's good. Had all the time in the world, and Markayla Holland converts.
I mean, if you're not going to close out and even make a couple of footsteps in the direction of Markayla Holland, you're going to get punished regularly. That's just a lapse in judgment from the Spartans.
Her first made three as a Shark, Markayla Holland, had only attempted 2 of them coming into this game. Diaz along the left lane, and she's got another bucket. Alanis Diaz from the Bronx to St. Leo to now Tampa. McCann, swish, rattling shot from McCann.
And Coach Tom Jesse needs to find somebody right now, get in their ear and tell them to match up with Bridie McCann because she's getting a lot of free real estate to shoot from.
Holland with the steal, Simpson with the bucket. From her knees, Markayla Holland picks up the assist. Timeout called by Tom Jesse because the Sharks are starting to pull away here. 34-20 your scoreline.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
We return to the floor. Sharks ahead by 14 points against Tampa. 34-20 your scoreline. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here on the SSC Digital Network for the SSC season opener for these two teams. Got a couple other games happening across the SSC here on this November 22nd. 3 ball is no good off the nose. Holland couldn't reel it in though. Diaz is going to draw a foul on Holland. That'll be her third.
That's a 50-50 call. It does not go in favor of the Sharks. It looked like Holland did a pretty good job of getting her feet set, but that's a really tough third foul for Holland because she's one of the Sharks' top 2 on-ball defenders. She picks up everybody at any point of attack. As soon as you cross the timeline, she is in your jersey, hand up, ready to guard anyone on the team, but that is going to make things really difficult for the Sharks to cover the back half of this ballgame.
Diaz with 13 points now in this affair. We still have 2 and almost 2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Very productive game for Diaz up to this point. Make it 14. At 7 points and 12 rebounds against Colorado Christian. Last time she had a 12-rebound game was against Nova Southeastern when she was playing for St. Leo. That was back in February. Tampa trying to get some momentum back. No one there to guard Davis. The red carpet was rolled out for her.
Yeah, the Sharks got caught a bit overextended. Simpson might have bumped knees with Hagee too, so she came up a little bit lame on the other end.
Morales inside for Childs. Haley Childs trying to shrug off the contact and go up. Misses the shot. And it'll be Spartan ball once again. Childs and Morales will sub out. In come Kirsten Green and Celeste Reed. Davis. Looking at her options as he crosses the 10-second line. Still Davis. 15 on the shot clock, 1.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Davis goes up, overdoes it. Quickly down the floor, Hagee to Simpson. Another 3 ball. No good. A domino effect over here. A travel is called. Brooklyn Butler falls into Olivia Davis, and she, as you would imagine, stumbles to the ground, giving the ball back to Nova Southeastern. China Mateer subs back into the game for the Sharks. Meanwhile, Faith Pickens is on the floor now for Tampa. Ball lofted up, and Palmieri comes down with it. She'll rush down the floor. Palmieri off the right block, it rolls through.
The Sharks have got to avoid these long cross-court passes. It's giving Tampa a really easy opportunity to get back into this contest. The Sharks do not turn the ball over a ton. It's now 4 turnovers. That's halfway to Tampa's total, and we haven't even really mentioned how great the Sharks have been today at forcing those turnovers, but it's poorly timed mental mistakes by the Sharks right now. Just these long passes that give the Spartans an opportunity to jump the lane, get down the floor. This team is not known for their transition offense or fast break points at all. They average 2 fast break points per game this season. This is not a team that likes to run and gun. The Sharks do.
1 of 2 from the line for Simpson. The foul's called on Brooklyn Butler, her second. Palmieri checks to the left-hand side, now Davis. Trying to bounce it in for Pickens, and instead, Bridie McCann comes up with it. 45 seconds left to go in the first half. McCann. Simpson slings it over. Green for 3. Cash!
There it is. Speed, ball movement, and clear passes to open shooters. That's how the Sharks run their offense.
Davis across the 10-second line. Back to Palmieri. Shot clock turned off, 18 seconds to go. Tampa want the last shot, trying to make it at least a 10-point game, but an offensive foul on Georgia Palmieri means the Sharks now get the ball.
Just a great job by Kirsten Green right there, getting right on the ball handler, just forcing the action to move exactly where she wanted it to go. That's great on-ball defense. Earns the Sharks another bucket, and just great effort defensively.
And now the Sharks with a chance to hit 40 here. Simpson to Green. 10 seconds on the clock. Kirsten Green. Inside, the jumper's up. It's short, bounces on the floor. 1 second to go. Palmieri jacks up the shot. No good. So your score line after 2 quarters, 38-26. Nova Southeastern with a 12-point lead over Tampa going into the second half. We're going to step aside when we come back. We'll give you some halftime scores, and then we'll get into the second half of action here on the SSC Digital Network.
What we do isn't just financial planning. We're developing a long-term relationship.
It's in an international space where everyone is welcome.
We really resemble the community.
Valley's all about making life easier for clients, and that's why we're all about smiles, too. So every day, we make it possible for home buyers to become home owners, for folks chasing their dreams to become entrepreneurs, for parents to plan today for their children's tomorrow, and for communities to get better every day. You see, when we know we've put a smile on a customer's face, well, that puts one on ours, too.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
Back here for the second half of action. The Sharks leading 38-26 in this SSC women's basketball clash. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here on the SSC Digital Network. First off, let's highlight a high performer from the first half, Bridie McCann. As you can see there, 11 points, 2 assists, and a steal. Been sort of the offensive spark to start this game for the Sharks. Also, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. Not too shabby.
She's looked fantastic. She does a great job of really creating space for herself around screens. She does a really interesting job with her feet, right? Like, a lot of people think that you're going to work around the screen, right? You're going to try and create the space that way. What she does is she takes a step back, which shows really her range, right? And the feel that she has from distance to not only create the space for herself, but just to find the bottom of the bucket from the distances that she shoots from. It's extremely impressive.
Any other takeaways from that first half of action as you've had a chance to pore over the numbers and think about what you saw?
Yeah, I really want to tip my metaphorical cap to Tampa. They have done a wonderful job of taking away 2 of the 3 things that the Sharks do a fantastic job of. They have held the Sharks to just 6 offensive rebounds through a half of basketball, and they've only allowed 6 points in the paint. That's a recipe that should lead to success, although it is currently a 12-point deficit. So Tampa has got to find a really quick way to speed up the offense. There is no chance they're going to get back into this game if they continue to take 15 to 20 to 25 seconds every single time down the floor. It's too slow. It's too methodical. They've got to find a way for some quick buckets.
Well, you know, a good way to come back in a game is to knock down some threes, which Tampa has yet to do in this game. They're 0 of 5 from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, the Sharks are shooting 50% and having attempted 16 of them. So 8 threes made in the first half after hitting 10 the total game last time out against Florida National. To give you a couple of quick halftime scores, because it's also the SSC opener for a lot of teams in the conference. Lynn leading 40-35 in the third quarter against Rollins. Meanwhile, Embry-Riddle up big at halftime, 41-18 against St. Leo. Eckerd and Barry are in a duel already halfway through the third quarter. Eckerd leading 47-40. And lastly, it's tight between Florida Tech and Palm Beach Atlantic. The Panthers leading 35-33, about halfway through the third quarter there as well. So we're actually one of the later games as far as pace is concerned. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here on the SSC Digital Network, and we are off and running in the third quarter. Tampa trying to mount a comeback. The Sharks off to a good start in conference play. Off to a good start's a great way to describe just about everything the Sharks have done this year up to this point under first-year head coach Heather Macy. Bridie McCann collects her first foul, and it'll be some free throws for Olivia Davis, who had 4 attempts in the first half and hit 2 of them. She's at 8 points right now, Davis. Also has an assist and 2 rebounds on top of that. Second free throw is up and good for Davis. So she's into double figures. She joins Alanis Diaz, Bridie McCann, and Tadra Simpson in that category. Here's Markayla Holland, who's been an impact player in this game when she's on the floor, but she does have 3 fouls, so her minutes will be managed. Giles to McCann. Jumper is up, takes a bounce, and it won't fall through for her. Didn't quite have the shooter's touch. Davis able to release that one over to Amy Thompson. Now it's Georgia Palmieri, the one who pulls the strings for this Tampa team. Diaz, the leading scorer in this match. 10 on the shot clock. Thompson striding in, just a little shy on the finish.
You just cannot afford to leave those types of points on the board, right? It's just about knowing where you are, knowing the type of strength that you need to put on that shot.
Ball kept in bounds by Childs in the corner. Reed swerving in, feeds it. Well done by the Sharks. Kalia Morales with another bucket.
Another offensive rebound. More second chance points for the Sharks. It's been the recipe all season long, and it just keeps working. Teams are having a really tough time keeping the Sharks from adding points from offensive rebounds.
Davis bounces it back to Palmieri. She sends it to her right-hand side for Alanis Diaz. She sends it to the corner. Palmieri along the baseline, off the glass, won't get the bounce it needs. Sharks lead by 12. Morales to McCann. She'll take the three. A little strong there. Palmieri crosses the 10-second line. Faced by Morales. That pass a little bit behind. Diaz has to track back and get it. She works inside with a twist. The finish won't fall. Put herself in a great spot, but then it wouldn't fall through for her. Holland on the other end. Cranes it across. The finish not there, though. Childs throws in a swipe. It'll stay with Tampa, but once again, a chance to just throw your wrench into the gears and consistently get into the heads of your opponent.
And they're just breaking down the game so much, this NSU side, because it is just extremely difficult right now to sustain anything offensively. You've just taken Tampa completely out of what their offense is supposed to look like, and now it's just catch-up time, and there's just not enough time on the clock for Tampa to do what they want to do.
They're going to call a fourth foul on Holland. Oh, no, it'll be in the paint. It'll be on Childs. There was a moment of panic on Holland's face, though. So Haley Childs will collect her first. That's a much more preferable person to take the foul here. Diaz tucks in, puts up the glass. No good. Offensive board, though. Franklin has that one swatted down. Palmieri retrieves. Diaz couldn't reel that one in. Now she's in the corner. And this is a mess of a possession. Somehow the Spartans still have the ball. Three ball is no good. Tip drill. Holland has it. Simpson on the other side of the floor. That one did everything but drop. Davis all the way down, and she's fouled as she goes to the line. Haley Childs picks up a second one after getting her first just moments earlier. Unique Horton, along with Kirsten Green, will sub in for Childs and Morales. It'll be Olivia Davis once again at the free throw line. We talked a little bit about this last game, Josh, and I think it's applicable in this one too, which is that early on in the season, you're trying to figure out everything. What does it look like for your team? How are we going to get our buckets? And I think this is a really, really frustrating Sharks team to play against in your efforts to figure that out, because everything they're trying to do is to rattle you, get in your head, jump in those passing lanes, and for a Tampa team that's gotten off to a somewhat slow start to this season, you would have liked to wait a couple more weeks before you had to match up with the Sharks team when you had a couple more games under your belt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Sharks just play a very disruptive style of basketball, but the thing for them is they really stay composed while doing that, right? And they're very connected defensively, and as you see, like, they're just throwing bodies at you, and they've got plenty of depth to handle foul trouble if needed.
Diaz floats it up and swishes it through. Alanis Diaz, as far as all the disruption is concerned that the Sharks team has provided, Alanis Diaz has been steady-handed throughout this one.
Yeah, she's a very heady basketball player. She's got a really tight handle, and she knows where her spots are on the floor. She's going to find fluid offense somewhere. It's just, where is the complementary scoring?
McCann with the floater. It's short. Horton gets the board. Unique Horton floats it back out. Provides the screen. Simpson prodding in. Her floater goes up. It's well off target. Palmieri rips it to the left-hand side. Davis along the baseline. She'll pick up a foul from Kirsten Green.
So this is where Tampa is starting to gain some momentum offensively right now. They're catching the Sharks a little bit late in their transition defense, and they're overextending themselves in their rotations. Tampa is getting the Sharks back on their heels, and they've cut it to a 10-point game now.
I'm actually going to call that one on Unique Horton, her second foul. Palmieri connects with Diaz. She does miss that shot. She hasn't missed many in this game, as a matter of fact. That's just her second miss of the match. Hagee stumbles to the ground.
Tampa kind of turning this game around right now just based on their offensive rebounding. We've talked all season long about how the Sharks have done a great job of getting to the glass, giving themselves second and third chance opportunities right now. Tampa's up to 5 offensive rebounds. That's only 3 behind the Sharks.
Third foul on that play by Ryan Franklin. Mateer to the corner. Hagee 3-ball. Airballs it. Horton trying to fight for the board. And it goes off of Horton last. Nearing the halfway mark of the third quarter.
Yeah, somehow, some way right now, Tampa has got to find Ryan Franklin in one of her more comfortable offensive spots. Just try and get her some confidence offensively because they need her scoring. She leads the team in points this season.
Here she is on the ball now. Franklin guarded by Horton. Back up top. Palmieri triggers the 3. Too strong. Mateer with the board. China Mateer. Down the floor she goes. Feeds it to Simpson. Green for 3. Oh, it dead balls in. Lost all momentum and rolls through the basket.
The Sharks have looked fantastic from behind the arc tonight. 9 threes made already.
On the other side, a 3-ball. The first of the game for Tampa.
If you're going to give one up, that's probably the preferred way to do it, right? You don't want to see Tampa start to gain momentum. You give it up in transition, and now all of a sudden it's just get back to your side offensively and respond.
Simpson to Mateer. Connects with Green. She'll send it to her right-hand side. Back up top to Mateer. It's Green again. She'll take another 3. A little too strong. Hagee stretches up, gets the board, draws the foul.
That rebounding game, it's all heart and hustle, right? It's just about having more energy than your opponent. And the Sharks and Spartans are actually tied in the rebounding department. They each have 26 boards. The Sharks are just doing a better job on the offensive glass.
43-33 your scoreline. 3:55 to go in the third quarter. We'll be back for the rest of the third quarter in just a moment. Ten-point lead for Nova Southeastern. They have the ball with 3:55 to go in the third quarter. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here on the SSC Digital Network. First game in SSC play. First game of the 2-match series this season between the Sharks and Tampa, as it always is with all your SSC foes, a home and away game. Of course, you could add on that third and maybe fourth match, depending on how successful these two teams are come March. The series, Tampa leads 36-20. The Sharks won the very last meeting, though, between these two sides in the conference tournament. That one being played in Tampa, 55-45 your scoreline in that game. Holland with the basketball after the steal. Morales sends it over the right-hand side for Simpson, finds Holland. She'll bump into Franklin. To the corner. McCann knocked down. Bridie McCann, another triple, her 4th of the game.
At this point, Tampa's only chance to defend Bridie McCann when she's outside is to just put a body on her and just face guard, because she is just finding any crack of space and she is punishing this defense.
Palmieri. Taking it over to the right-hand side, now checks it to Diaz, feeds Franklin inside, bumps off of Holland and scores. 4 points now for Ryan Franklin, but you said it, she's the leading scorer on this team, averages 15 a game. They need more of that from her. Morales in the middle to Childs. The physicality and the finish lacking. Childs trying to rip it back, gets a jump ball. It's Sharks possession. Couldn't get the bucket, but she will win possession, Haley Childs. Morales will float this one out to Simpson. McCann working her way inside, floats up the shot. Wide left. And it'll be Tampa ball, 2:11 to go in the third. They have 2 seconds to get across the floor. Davis does just that. And then she's bumped by McCann, who can't believe the call. That'll be a second on Bridie McCann. With under 2 minutes to go in the third, it's an 11-point lead. Now the Southeastern leading 46-35. Olivia Davis has got her 9th and 10th free throw here on the docket. That one falls through for her.
I think Tampa's offense needs to transition a little bit right now from that more methodical style. Maybe just more bull in a china shop. Just try and put your head down and draw some contact by the Sharks. Put somebody in some foul trouble. Create an opportunity that you're hunting for. Because right now the Sharks just have too much depth and they're using every bit of it.
Simpson to McCann. Bounces over to Holland. McCann, overhead pass to Morales. Shifts to her right. McCann now has the ball. Simpson into Childs, 10 on the shot clock. Back out to McCann, deep three, no good. Palmieri slings it to the left. Davis now into the middle. Palmieri rises up, blocked by Simpson. They're gonna call a foul there.
I think she might have got a piece of the right hand of the shooter there, which she didn't get much of it, but enough to alter the shot, and the officials are going to call that every time.
Celeste Reed back in the game for Haley Childs. So a second foul on Tadra Simpson, trying to get the clean block. Was not quite successful. Palmieri puts the first one through. Palmieri now 4 of 4 on the season from the charity stripe. There's her first miss. Oops. Another jump ball. This one will stay with Tampa.
The broadcasters jinxed 2 for 2 today.
Yeah.
I think we're going to err on the side of just letting the teams shoot in the Venza game, because this is kind of crazy.
You see, you could go of it 2 ways, Josh. You can either bite your tongue and never say it, or you just let it rip every single time. You just see how often you can get it to activate. Palmieri chucks this one up. It will be brought down by Olivia Davis. From between the circles, Davis sends it to her left. Thompson back to Davis. 5 on the shot clock. Prodding inside, kicks it to the left-hand side. The ball is up, and it's through for Ryan Franklin.
There is a time for Ryan Franklin to activate. It's right now just before the fourth quarter, so she can carry that momentum into the final period.
Morales to McCann. 48 seconds to go in the third. McCann bounces it. Holland. Back up top to Morales. Out to Simpson. Feeds Reed. 6 on the shot clock. Simpson now driving in, puts up the shot. Well defended by Ryan Franklin. 30 seconds to go. The tempo's push. Palmieri. That one goes through the legs of Morales. Franklin now on the ball. Floats it back out to Davis. About a second difference between game and shot clock. Davis hands it out to Palmieri. 12 seconds left on the clock. Palmieri, inside she goes. Jumper is up, and it's too strong. Rebound claimed by Simpson. 3 seconds left. Morales chucks up the shot. Off the glass, no good. So that was a quarter that Tampa were able to claw back. It's now 46-40. Nova Southeastern with the lead. We've got 10 more minutes of basketball to go here on the SSC Digital Network. Can't wait to see how this one unravels. We'll see you on the other side.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Back here on the SSC Digital Network, we're going to give you some quick score updates because I don't know if we're going to be able to get back to it in this game. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman here for what's going to be a compelling fourth quarter. Lynn leading Rollins 54-49 in the fourth. Embry-Riddle leading St. Leo 56-34 halfway through the third. Eckert pulling away from Barry 73-52 with 3 minutes to go. Meanwhile, Palm Beach Atlantic able to pull away from Florida Tech 53-37 with 3.5 minutes to go. It's 46-40 here at the Rick Case Arena with 10 more minutes on the docket. Tampa winning that third quarter 14-8, cutting into this deficit. Looks like quite the conclusion is on the way. McCann for three. She's good again. 5 triples for Brady McCann.
She's taken 8 of them. I don't think any of them have been forced. It's just been fluid offense all game long for Brady McCann.
It's a steal and a bucket. Morales puts it in. Simpson on the intervention.
This is how you bounce back from a low-scoring quarter. Just dial up the intensity, force Tampa to re-engage themselves.
And just like that, it's an 11-point lead once again for the Sharks. Palmieri to Diaz. Floats it up for Franklin. It goes off her palm. Sharks ball. And you've been talking about it. It is such a toil for this Tampa team to get a bucket, and the Sharks just getting 5 just right off the bat.
Yeah, you forced 2 turnovers in less than a minute. Now you've got a chance to make it 3 for 3 on the offensive end. It's just you unravel so quickly because there's internal pressure applied to you because you're not scoring.
Holland can't get it to drop, but Celeste Reed is there for it. She tried to dish it out to Holland. Couldn't connect on the pass. It will be Tampa basketball.
Yeah, just looking to make a play right there, trying to toss it where she thought a receiver would be.
Ball tossed up. Morales stretched up trying to swat it down. They're going to call her for the foul. That'll be her third. Tampa looking for the inbound now. Trying to get themselves situated here in the fourth quarter. Georgia Palmieri walking up the floor. Swerves to her right. Palmieri puffs it inside. Franklin takes the jumper. It twirls out.
Had the mismatch, just couldn't convert on the bucket, right? You got the 6'3" big on the guard.
McCann checks it to Morales. This one goes over to Holland, dumps it back. Brady McCann steps inside, ripping pass. Now Reed travels. Palmieri from the corner floats this one up. Davis down the court to Diaz. Some quick passing, a little bit too quick for Tampa. That one sails over the head of Ryan Franklin, and that's hard to do because she's 6'3". So a couple of turnovers forced here by the Sharks in the fourth quarter. And that's where that wave and wave of personnel shifting throughout this game for the Sharks can really pay off as you just wear through a Tampa team. Everybody giving that energy. Reed to the right-hand side, back out to McCann. Rotated to the left-hand side, Morales, 5 on the shot clock. Kalia Morales, tough shot, tough finish.
Big time bucket right there. 2 for 2 in the fourth quarter, and it's just takeover time, right? These players who are very accustomed to running Coach Macy's system are going to start to have a more impactful fourth quarter and closeout time.
That's going to be a basket and a foul. Amy Thompson gets 2, a chance to make it 3. And that's going to be a 4th foul on Kalia Morales. It's harder to be in takeover mode if you're on the bench, Josh, and that's where she's going now with 4 fouls.
Yeah, playing with a high foul total, especially early on in the season, it's not something that most coaches will push for just because they know that their players are going to need to be out there, because this is a style of play that you have to actually play in to get accustomed to it, and just being a spectator doesn't really help anybody on the Shark side. But Morales needs to be a little bit more composed on the defensive side, because those are fouls that she doesn't need to be picking up as the point guard of this team.
Green inside for Childs. Back out to McCann. Brady McCann with the jumper, too strong. That one goes off of Diaz last. It'll stay with the Sharks.
You know, and even though Holland hasn't had the typical efficiency that we've grown to see, she's really on pace for a double-double here, and if her teammates can knock down a few shots from her passes, maybe even a triple-double.
Been a productive day in the office for Alanis Diaz, but she's about the only one who can say that offensively for Tampa. Palmieri, a lot of tight dribbling. Diaz inside for Franklin, and she's tied up with Brady McCann. Seizing the opportunity, Brady McCann steps in, gets her hands on the ball.
I mean, that's just a great read by McCann right there, just jumping on the pass as soon as it got into the hands. And you force the jump ball, you make Tampa reset because you were out of sorts. There was a mismatch there again for the Spartans. They keep finding Franklin when she's being guarded by a smaller player.
They're going to call a foul on Simpson. That'll be her third. It's a little too aggressive. That'll be their third foul here in the fourth quarter.
Be a pretty good way for the Spartans to cut down this deficit if they can get into the bonus, especially early. And you just keep hitting the double whammy on the Sharks. You get to the free throw line and you put another foul on somebody, because the Sharks are starting to add up not just a high volume of personal fouls, but it's also players with personal fouls that are adding onto their totals.
Good defensive effort there from Simpson. McCann takes the three. No good off the tray. You like any shot she takes, though, at this point. Palmieri hits the brakes, kicks it back out to Davis. Heavy feint. Now she'll back inside. Davis knocked down by Kirsten Green. That'll be her second.
Yeah, just overcompensated right there to the post work, right? You got the bump, and you went a little bit too far. You got on your heels, so then you lunge forward, and it's contact on the shooter.
So there's the fourth foul. So Tampa one foul shy of the bonus here.
If they can get there with north of 5 minutes left on the clock, which is going to be tough to do with 6:08 in the game, but if they can get there, they've got a legit shot to get back into this.
Olivia Davis is now 6 of 11 at the charity stripe. Coming into this game, she was shooting at nearly 88%. Doesn't get either of them there, so that puts her at 50% on the day. Green dashing down the floor. Oh my goodness! Like a blur, Kirsten Green.
Just head down right to the cup and had the wherewithal to just lay it up softly off the glass.
Keep your head on a swivel. Just came flashing in. Palmieri from the point. Checks it over to Thompson. Thompson, step back three. Well short. Right into the bread basket of Kirsten Green. Green tucks it and draws the foul. She's getting into a zone here, Kirsten Green.
She's playing like a wrecking ball right now, just bashing into defenders, drawing contact. One way or another, she's either going to score or be heading to the free throw line.
It's a second foul on Olivia Davis. Kirsten Green will go to the line. Had 13 points, 5 assists, 7 steals in that game against Florida National. She's got 8 in this affair. Green knocks that one down. And that one goes through. 10 points for Kirsten Green. Palmieri bounces that one in. Jay Thompson in the game. Thompson finds Palmieri, crosses the 10-second line. It's a 14-point lead for the Sharks, turning into do-or-die mode for Tampa. It's the largest, or tied for the largest lead in the game. Green slow to get up. 3 ball no good. Reed on the board. Green back on the ball now. Kirsten Green kicks it out to Hagee. Now inside it's Reed. Reed turns, floats, and scores. Celeste Reed, she's had her impact on this game, but that's her first bucket.
Yeah, and I think that's part of just the Sharks' identity this year is there are going to be games where, unfortunately, some of these players just aren't really scoring, but their impact will be felt elsewhere. There's just that much depth.
Diaz. In a sea of white jerseys, she gets fouled.
If that goes on Hagee, I have no idea what she did wrong there.
And that's exactly who the foul is on. So you're going to have some time to think about that one, Josh, because we're going to a break. 59-43 your scoreline. The Sharks trying to balloon this advantage in the fourth quarter. 4:21 to go in this one. The SSC opener for both the Sharks and the Spartans. Nova Southeastern, an explosion here in the fourth quarter, currently outscoring Tampa 13-3. Mark Schoenster, Josh Leatherman with you here. It's always strange having this early season conference game because after this, Tampa will play Davison Elkins and Bemidji State going back to out-of-conference play. Those games Friday and Saturday. Meanwhile, the Sharks will return to action on Tuesday, just a couple of days from now, to play St. Thomas. So it's just that awkward part of the year where you have to shift your gears really quick because this game is obviously huge as far as implications and where these teams will both be sitting at the end of the year. But then you go back to, all right, we're building blocks, we're getting the foundation set.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where, veteran coaches of this level really understand the value of those non-conference contests, right, where you're tinkering with lineups, but then things really get emphasized, right? And this is where you find out who has been putting in those extra hours individually during the off season, right? Those early days of the fall and, in individual workouts, because you've got to have things ironed up real tight when you get into conference play, and these early season contests show you a lot of stuff.
3-ball swish for Kirsten Green. 13 points for the senior. She has been impressive here in this fourth quarter. Palmieri checks over to the left-hand side. And that one goes off the foot of Kirsten Green. She'll grit her teeth and smile. Not what she was hoping to achieve there as she was guarding Jay Thompson. Diaz with the catch and shoot, and it's good. She's at 18 points. Bridie McCann, who's had herself an evening. 17 points, 5 of 9 from 3. Josh, at this point in the season, we look at each individual result of this women's basketball team, and each one you go, wow, that's really impressive. Wow, that's really impressive. But it's still early in the year. It's still early in the year. This is pretty impressive against a Tampa team that, although has been a bit slow to start this season, is always trotting out a pretty quality product on the floor in the SSC. And yet, it's another great showing from the Sharks.
I think one of the things that has stuck with me the most from our last broadcast is how you mentioned how the Sharks, they've shown they can win when things go really, really well. When they shoot well from inside, when they rebound and they can force steals and they cause havoc. But what does it look like when you aren't, when you don't have those extra buckets in transition? Sharks only have 9 steals today. Now, they have forced Tampa into 17 turnovers, but the Sharks haven't done their usual scoring from inside. They only had 8 points in the paint coming into this quarter. So it hasn't been the typical showing from what we've seen from Coach Macy's group, but they've stayed composed. They've understood their process, and they've just kept to what the game plan was, and they continue to grow their lead. They have forced Tampa into a really tough spot today, and I think the coaching staff deserves a ton of credit, and the players too, for understanding the game plan and coming into this matchup with a full head of steam.
It's just been a great showing, and although you could talk about maybe the lack of the amount of steals they had in this game in comparison to the other ones, but on the flip side, the Sharks have been averaging 20 turnovers per game. They've got 8 at this point in the match, so it's been cleaner on that end. It kind of just goes to show you the different game profiles you can run into in a season, and how does your style shift and mold depending on the kind of team you're playing against. And this product looks pretty good too, even though I know they're not scoring 120 points in this game, but you never expected them to against a tough opponent in Tampa. But this product's also been very impressive to witness.
Yeah, so in a game where you know that possessions are magnified, the Sharks have done a great job of taking care of the basketball, and in games where the game is going to be picked up and there's going to be more possessions to be had, you can afford to be a little bit looser with the basketball. So the Sharks understand the type of matches that they're going to be in, and they compose themselves when necessary.
McCann with a good dish, and then Reed, and one. A good find from Bridie McCann, and then Celeste Reed finishes the job. Well, Josh, I was saying earlier that we might not have the chance to check scores in other games because we thought maybe this one would be coming down to the wire, but the Sharks have just grabbed this game by the reins. So Lynn ended up victorious over Rollins 63-58, and then Embry-Riddle up 79-51 with 5.5 to go in that game. So unless St. Leo can have a fervent comeback in the last 5 minutes of the game, Embry-Riddle going to be victorious in that one. Embry-Riddle, the team voted to place second in the preseason coaches poll. Tampa was picked for first. The Sharks were picked fourth. Now, with a couple games in, you wonder where the opinions of the Shark team would land now in that same poll.
I think a lot of the early preseason is just about, voting on who has a lot of continuity, right?
Yeah.
And the coaches that are in places where there's a consistent result. And Coach Macy coming over from Barrie, there's so many new faces joining in. You needed to see how the parts actually work together.
Tadra Simpson, vicious on the denial. Her first attempted block of the day was called a foul, but she has collected 2 of them since then, not shying away from the moment.
Yeah, she's a spark plug off the bench. She can score, she can defend. She's very versatile with this group, whichever group she's with, because she spent a lot of time today playing with the starting unit, and she has just entered flawlessly in with that 4.
Simpson at 13 points in this game. Tack on the 2 blocks on top of that, and, well, I think they're going to call one of them a steal. I definitely saw them as 2 blocks in this game, but the stats have it down as 2 steals, 1 block. So with 2.5 to go, Georgia Palmieri will sub out of the game. Helena Cuck will sub in. 20-point ball game with 2.5 to go. The Sharks have taken control of this one. And it's a great, emphatic start to conference play for Nova Southeastern. These 2 teams will play again in January, where both of them will have quite a few more games under their belt. That'll be January 31st. Of course, that one will be at Tampa at Barb Martinez Athletic Center. Holland floats over to McCann. Corner 3. Won't fall through. Green tried the putback. Whistle sounds. It's another foul on Tampa.
Yeah, a little bit of a push there on the rebound attempt, and the chance for the Sharks to balloon this lead a little bit more.
So Kirsten Green will go to the line. Here's someone else who's had an impressive game, especially here in the 4th quarter. 13 points for Green. Also has 2 rebounds. Some tough buckets here in the 4th quarter in particular. So we'll switch both those through.
Going to be really curious because we keep track of these teams all year long. We do broadcast the Sharks, but it's going to be really interesting to see how Tampa generates offense this year, because this is multiple times now, still 2 minutes left on the clock, but they have been held to under 50 points for a couple of games now, and it is getting alarming to see just a lack of point scoring from this Tampa group.
Pickens bumping into Green. 5 on the shot clock. Cuck on the ball. 2 seconds left to go. It's stolen away. Kirsten Green down the floor. Bounces it to Simpson, and it's blocked. Knocked away by Maddie Oberski. And now a full-on line change. The Sharks subbing in some familiar faces and some ones getting in for the first time in this game, including Bree Williams and Zoe Adams. Unique Horton, Caitlin Hagee, and China Mateer also checking in. Hagee Back out to Mateer. Caitlin Hagee floats it in for Unique Horton. Horton works inside, cranes up the shot. It's no good. Rebound by Pickens. Nearly running into her teammate there, Noelle Mangel. Once again, Cuck on the basketball. Just over a minute left to go in this basketball game. Pickens. They're going to call a foul on Hagee. She gives a little laugh. It'll be her second foul. So Faith Pickens will go to the line, a freshman from Williamstown, West Virginia, or as my friend from there calls it, he says Weemstown. First one goes through for Pickens. That one all. Hagee goes down hard there. The whistle sounds. Trying to get back up on her feet here.
Not quite sure if this was the second time that we've seen players bump knees or if that was just shin-to-shin contact, but that was near instant.
So Hagee will be walked off. Heather Macy coming out onto the floor when Hagee went down. Checking on her player, and now Layla Cannon into the game for the Sharks. She'll check it to Mateer as we are counting seconds at the Rick Case Arena. Mateer over the right-hand side. Williams on the ball. Bounces it to Mateer again. Cannon up to Mateer. 5 on the shot clock. Mateer checks it. Cannon feeds it inside. Williams with the floater. It's no good. And they're going to call a shot clock violation. I thought that may have grazed the rim, but the officials saying otherwise.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty solid shot right there. Not a bad look late in the game, just trying to find some offense from a player who recently just checked in, but
Cuck on the basketball. Checks it to Butler. Left-hand side, catch and shoot three. Ball no good for Oberski. Pickens trying to get the rebound. And a jump ball for Nova Southeastern. So, clock rolling down. Nova Southeastern will see this one to its conclusion. They continue to impress. Nova Southeastern 4-0 on the season, 1-0 in SSC play. They knock off the Spartans 67-49 in the Shark Tank. That's just a big win. Another statement from this Shark team. They've had 4 games this season, and every single one of them has been a pretty comfortable margin, and they've made it all but comfortable for their opponents they've played.
The Sharks have done just an unbelievable job under head coach Heather Macy, implementing this style of play here with this group with so many new faces. And I said in the last game, the record-breaking performance, I said there's going to be some eyes opened up quite a bit by this scoring margin. But if the Sharks end up taking down the Spartans here in the Rick Case Arena, eyes are going to be wide open when talking about this group, and they sure are. This team is for real, and they are going to be a joy to watch this season.
We are seated, we're paying attention, and now it's just a matter of when is everybody else going to catch up on what we're starting to learn about this team a couple games into the season. So, with that in mind, we're going to briefly step aside. When we come back, we're going to get some post-game thoughts here from head coach Heather Macy about her first win as a coach in the SSC for the Sharks, at least. We'll see you then.
First 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
To Broward County, everyone knows the sunrises, the beautiful beaches, and the extravagant nightlife. But within the heart of the 954 lies Shark County. The Sharks have always been hungry for more, striving for excellence in competition and in the classroom. But over time, we've evolved into not only the power in Broward, but one of the premier powerhouses in all of college athletics.
Nova Southeastern, they've been the best team in Division II all season long.
We're the home of 15 NCAA Division II national championships, crowning 50 individual national champions and winning 55 Sunshine State Conference titles. We are Sharks. We are Shark County. We are the power in Broward.
Post game here from the Rick Case Arena. I've got head coach Heather Macy. A 67-49 victory to open up SSC play against the team that had the preseason poll #1, the Tampa Spartans. Big win for the team. Last game, coach, you talked about how it's so early on in the season to have such a big conference game, but the girls came out and, I mean, talk about an impressive performance, especially in the fourth quarter. How'd you feel about the way the team played today?
You know, I do think it was very, very early, and obviously we're not playing our best basketball right now, but I think they responded to the challenge today, and Tampa is an amazing basketball team, and Tom has been there for a long time, and they've been incredibly consistent and at the not only top of the league, but top in the country many moments, and so it's a great victory for us tonight, and against what I think is a very, very good basketball team in Tampa. But talking about our kiddos, I mean, wow, did they respond and hit big shots when we needed. And so we finished it really strong, and couldn't be more proud to be a Shark today.
What was the conversation like going into the fourth quarter? Because in the third, they pull back within 6 points, and then 21-9 margin in the fourth quarter. I mean, just talk about stepping down on the gas and keeping them out of this game once we got to the closing moments. What were the conversations like going into that fourth quarter?
Well, I think we took some shots in the third quarter that we weren't expecting some of the players to take. And then we're not very good at rebounding it when we take unexpected shots. And so we settled down a little bit in the fourth. And I think you saw to start the fourth quarter a couple of things defensively happened where we're able to get them sped up and got a couple steals and some transition opportunities. And I think that is when we're at our best.
And then just wanted to talk about the depth of this team because y'all rotate through quite a few players through the game. You're just coming at them in waves. How valuable is it that you can go that deep into your bench throughout the match in a big game? Like this, you have so many players that you can rely on. I mean, that's got to be such a luxury as a coach.
No, it is. And the other part, too, is I think our fitness level is very good. So the kids who even played extended minutes, I don't think you saw fatigue in that deal. So really proud of them for the way that they practice because I think our practice environment dictates the pace in which we're able to play. Then everyone who stepped in, like Kiki came in and she played huge minutes in that run, confident minutes during that run, and was able to. We kept the flow going. So, you know, any given night, I mean, I think we can play 10 to 12, depending upon how it goes. But everybody's been ready. They've stepped up to the challenge, and just really proud of the kiddos.
And then one more from me. It seems like any given night, any one of these individuals could be activated and have a game where they really pop off on the score sheet. Today, Bridie hits 5 threes. How often is she just mindless in training, knocking down those shots from beyond the arc?
Well, I have to look at the stats here. Okay, good. So when we recruited her, I told her, I said, if you come here, you're going to need to take 10 threes a game. And she said, I'm in. And so tonight she went 5 of 10, and honestly, that's what we want from her.
Hey,
she's a high-volume three-point shooter, and but she's also not only a shooter. I think she does a great job. She's a playmaker for us. I think she got huge folks involved for a couple of three-point plays, throwing it inside to the post to Celeste Reed. And so, I think Bridie's an overall really good basketball player, and too many times everybody thinks singular-only shooter, and I think that's probably minimizing how good she really is.
I think you're fair in that assessment. So, your final score once again, Nova Southeastern victorious 67-49 over Tampa. We shift the gears back to out-of-conference play against St. Thomas on Tuesday at 6 p.m. So either pull up to the Shark Tank or watch this game on the SSC Digital Network Tuesday, November 25th.
Let's have some people pull up to the Shark Tank and see us in person.
Yeah.
Hanging out on Tuesday to get revved up, because I'm telling you, I think that was a big difference in how we played as these fans kind of got into it a little bit. You kind of felt the momentum shift. So you do make a difference. So come out and support us.
Absolutely. You feed the energy, they give it right back, and it's just it circulates. So can't wait to see y'all then. Pleasure talking to you again, Coach.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next time. And once again,
go Sharks.
Go Sharks.